Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus, here delivering you my weekly menu of gaming news. So it actually was a quiet week as far as gaming news was concerned. There wasn't a whole lot that went and caught my eye, but there are a few articles I came across that definitely were interesting to me, and to you as well, I hope. The first one, well, starting off with a sad note, otome visual novel producer QuinRose's parent company, actually Art Move, has gone and filed for bankruptcy. At least according to this note in Japanese that was found at their headquarters. It just goes and has the usual like bankruptcy legalese that they've stopped production, or rather stopped operations, and that you need to go and contact, if you need to contact them, go through their lawyers, that sort of stuff. It's disappointing news because QuinRose has been producing visual novels for about the last 10 years or so, and they have some rather popular series. The Heart no Kuni no Alice series is one that's gained both fame, well, is popular in Japan and has gained fame internationally primarily through the manga series that has been released, but also the visual novels themselves has like some international following as well. So it's quite disappointing for a company that goes and has a decent catalog of titles to suddenly be going and shuttering their doors, especially so unexpectedly. It's the level of this bankruptcy is unknown. It's not sure what's going to happen to QuinRose themselves, what's going to go and happen to their back catalog of titles, or what's going to go and even happen to their future titles. There were some that were further out that they'd already gone and announced. No one knows what's going to happen to those, and they even have a couple titles scheduled for later this month that the status of is still a question mark. As according to what some people dug up on the internet through QuinRose's mail order site and whatnot, is they should still go and be released, but it's definitely a far more gray area than it was even a few days ago. So it's definitely disappointing to go and have this kind of news that to go and report about, but I definitely thought it'd be worth going and noting and sharing. And so yep, if you're a otome visual novel fan, then sorry to go and say it looks like QuinRose-sama is at an end. Alright, moving on to our second item. It's not necessarily a super positive note as well, and that's Sony Computer Entertainment New Zealand is going and discontinued, or rather has discontinued, the PlayStation 3 in New Zealand. So, you know, just based off of sheer geographical size, New Zealand's a smaller market for Sony than some other markets, like even their neighbor in Australia. But this, as far as I know, is the first region to go and discontinue the PlayStation 3, going and kind of signaling the end for the console. I mean, it'll still be available and there'll still be games going and coming out for it. There always are for a while. But it does go and look like the PlayStation 3's lifespan is finally starting to go and wind down. And it's kind of interesting to go and note that being the case, because at this point we stand at about 9 years since the PlayStation 3 went and launched all the way back in 2006. But if you go and look at other recent PlayStation consoles, the PlayStation 2 had a huge run. It went and launched in 2000 and wasn't discontinued until 2013, just 2 years ago, so a 13-year run. And the PSP had, well, a 9-year run, going and launching in 2000, well, actually, maybe closer to about a 10-year run, depending on which region you're in. Either 9, 10, right around there. 10 years, we'll say 10 years for the PlayStation Portable before it was discontinued as well. So maybe this might even be a little bit premature for going and discontinuing the console, and it's definitely a sad bit of news, as I still feel like there's a great library of titles to be discovered on the PlayStation 3, and even still some great titles still going and coming out, at least this year as well. So definitely some sad news there that the PlayStation 3's lifespan is nearing its end. It's been a great run though. There's so many titles for the PlayStation 3 that I've loved to death, both the digital and the retail releases, indies, AAAs. It's been a great run, an incredible generation. Hopefully this current one can go and match it. We'll have to go and see as far as that's concerned, as it's definitely a different world than it was 10 years ago. That said, our last item is one that's of a far more positive note. So, in my Tokyo Game Show video, I went and noted that Bandai had announced a fourth Sword Art Online game. Well, at this weekend's Dengeki Bunko Festival, they went and finally revealed the title and a little bit of information about that one. And the title of it is Sword Art Online Hollow Realization, coming for the PlayStation 4. So, not much is known beyond like this teaser image that we go and have. There's also a trailer. I'll include the link to the teaser site below, so if you're interested in Sword Art Online and would like to go and check that out yourself, you're more than free to go and do so, but be aware, of course, it's in Japanese. But there's not a whole lot else known aside from like the title at this point and the information that's in the trailer. It's going to be taking place in another virtual MMORPG, kind of like Sword Art Online, but called Sword Art Origin, which is apparently supposed to go and take place on the same servers as Sword Art Online. So it'll be definitely interesting to go and get more information about the story of this title. So that's definitely awesome news. It's great to go and see that the Sword Art Online franchise is going and doing so well for Bandai Namco when it goes and comes to the video games. So we can hope for like certainly more of that one. I'm really looking forward to the English release of Lost Song coming out in November, I believe. So there's definitely that as well. Speaking along the lines of releases going and coming out, so in addition to the announcement of Hollow Realization, Sony when unveiled some new special edition Sword Art Online PlayStation 4s. There's like two varieties. There's this awesome white one and there's this awesome black one that are going and being released with Sword Art Online Game Director's Edition, which is basically Lost Song plus the re-hollow fragment PlayStation 4 versions. So it's a really awesome image with the ironclad castle in the background as well as like Kirito and Asuna in the foreground. And it definitely goes and makes me envious of that awesome looking PlayStation 4. I would be happy to go and own one of those, but who knows? I kind of doubt we're going to go and get those stateside. It'd be neat if we did though. Alright, well, that'll just about wrap it up for this week's news. Like I said, definitely kind of a light news week, so a little bit on the short side. As always, if you go and have news articles that you think could be worth my attention that I should go and cover in the show, please go and leave those in the comments below. Or if you have other suggestions on how I can go and improve my news program or any general feedback in general, also please leave those in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming out and joining me today for Fitaurus Kitchen Weekly Gaming News, and we'll go and see you again next week.